To describe Denis Law as one of Manchester United's and football's all-time greatest players doesn't seem sufficient an accolade. In his heyday, he was simply unplayable. His professional footballing journey began at Huddersfield in 1955, prior to spells with Manchester City and Torino in Italy, before Matt Busby, who had already given Denis his first Scotland cap, managed to broker a deal to get Denis into the red shirt of United in 1962. Denis didn't disappoint. He hit the ground running, scoring on his debut against West Bromwich Albion. But that was merely the beginning. He was to hit an astonishing 114 goals in his first 3 years at Old Trafford. He was on target as United defeated Leicester City in the 1963 FA Cup final. In the following campaign, he was nothing short of sensational, scoring a club record 46 goals and picking up the European Player of the Year award, today known as the Ballon d'Or, the only Scottish player ever to have done so. He was United's top scorer as the Reds won league titles in 1965 and 1967, and he found the back of the net in a Scotland victory over world champions England too, which was a source of great pride to him. Denis felt on top of the world, and United were flying high at home and abroad. But then a troublesome knee injury started to affect his performances. It became evident that it would need surgery. This denied him the chance to impress on club football's biggest stage, the 1968 European Cup final. He was recuperating in a Manchester hospital as his teammates put Benfica in their place at Wembley. The next day, Denis had 2 bedside visitors, Matt Busby and the European Cup. During the following season, it looked like he'd never been away as he hit another 30 United goals. But over the next few years, time began to catch up with the team as the now knighted Sir Matt Busby resigned and the likes of Bobby Charlton and George Best also left the club. Denis's Old Trafford career came to an end in 1973, bringing an end to a glittering 11-year spell with the Reds, during which he hit an astonishing 237 goals in 404 games. Denis still felt he had plenty left to offer the footballing world, and he decided to rejoin Manchester City. It was to prove a highly emotional decision. The final goal of his career came towards the end of the infamous 1974 Manchester derby at Old Trafford. Denis's back heel gave City victory, and at the time, many, including Denis himself, thought it had also sealed United's relegation. Later results proved that United would have gone down anyway, but Denis took no pleasure out of what would normally have been labelled as a terrific finish. He hung up his boots after the 1974 World Cup finals in West Germany, where he won the last of his 55 Scotland caps. He was, and still is, joint record scorer for his country, sharing the honour with Kenny Dalglish, who also bagged 30 international goals. In 2002, Denis was inducted into the English Football Hall of Fame, and a year later he was named as the best Scottish footballer ever. Further accolades followed when Denis was awarded a CBE in 2016, and a year later the Freedom of the City of Aberdeen. Remarkably, he is the only man to have 2 statues dedicated to him at Old Trafford, one on the Stretford End concourse, the other as part of the United Trinity statue overlooking the stadium's forecourt, where he's immortalised alongside fellow greats George Best and Sir Bobby Charlton. Both stand as testament to one of the Reds' truly legendary figures. He was the ultimate goalscorer. While many of United's great strikers have hit 2, 3 or maybe 4 hat-tricks in their Old Trafford careers, Denis hit an incredible 18 trebles, including 4 goal hauls on 4 separate occasions. Many will cherish the memory of Denis celebrating a goal in his own unique way. Wheeling away, arm in the air, hand clutching his sleeve, finger pointing at the sky. It's an image that will forever be remembered. As will the man known affectionately as the King. Denis Law was true footballing royalty, and one of the greatest players the world has ever seen.